Hey everyone, welcome to the first ever episode of the Real Life Filmmakers tutorials. This is meant to be something to help you get started with color correction, and I'm really excited to share this with you because once I started learning how to do color correction, it really increased the production quality of my videos. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on, maybe a little bit more basic color correction, but there's a really big difference, as you can tell, with the final product. So if you look right here, this is the final product of what we're going to be doing. So as you can see, it may look like, maybe there's like some colored lights on the edges, or maybe I put some colored lights in here, but no, this was actually what I just pulling out the colors that I already had to work with. A lot of my stuff that I do is like run and gun type of shoots. So like I can show up on the project and I may not even know, except for maybe an hour before what I'm going to be doing, or maybe even right when I get on the site. So that's kind of helped me be more versatile and being able to adapt to all kinds of different projects. So that's why it's called Real Life Filmmakers, because we don't always have, the perfect shooting conditions. Sometimes we have to work with what we have. Yeah, let's jump back into here. And if you look, you can see that I added a special effect on the outside, kind of blur the outer edges. So that way there was no type of distraction with the clutter. If I remove that, it kind of detracts from your focus. So I added that, especially because my client wanted it added, so all their junk wasn't showing. Also, as you can see, this is what it looked like before I did the color correction. So that's a pretty big difference, isn't it? What we're doing here is showing you how to take all that color that you have and bring it back into your video. One thing that I like to say is go check out Red Giant, because they have some really cool effects that you can add to your videos that will really increase your production quality. So I started using Red Giant almost 2 years ago, and the day I started using it, I saw a huge increase in my production quality because I was able to take and add elements into my videos that weren't there before, but that looked natural. They didn't look cheesy, but they looked natural. And I was able to add some other special effects like that shrink ray effect that I was telling you about. And overall, Red Giant was able to boost the production quality. So go check them out, because we're going to be using some of their stuff in this video. And no, I'm not getting paid to say that. I just really like Red Giant. So let's get back over here to what we are looking at. So like I said, I wanted to hide some of the outer edges with this shrink ray effect. As you can see, there it is right there. There are a lot of different things that you can do with it. You can adjust the focus position. It's just kind of showing where the blur is going to be. If you look here at focus height, you can see that you can make it really narrow or you can make it a little bit wider. Also, we can adjust a bunch of other different things. We can make it add some more saturation if we want to. We can make it add some more contrast, which I didn't actually like that. And there's just so many different things that you can do with this. So, but let's get to the actual color correction now. So as you can see, this was before, and this right here is after. So let me just kind of walk you through what I did. So let me remove this here and let me remove this. So let me just go to the basic correction. First of all, it looked a little bit off with the color temperature. So I adjusted that, and see, like that. And then I added a little bit of a tint to it, make it a little bit less green, and give it more of an industrial feel. So as you can see right here, that's about where I had it. And then I adjusted the exposure, because it was really dark. So I did that. Usually you want to try to get it right the first time when you're shooting it, but sometimes you can tweak that a little bit. I might add just a little bit of contrast. I hadn't done that before. I can adjust some of the highlights, some of the shadows, and that will just bring the shadows either lighter or darker. And if you do that too much, if you adjust the shadows and the highlights too much, it's gonna reduce some of the contrast as well. So you want to be a little bit careful how much you use it. Let's go here to the whites. And you can just kind of move around to where it looks good. This isn't an exact science. You can leave some creative leeway here to just kind of do what looks right to you. So let's go to the creative side now. So you can see here, this was still kind of bland. This isn't exactly what we were looking for in the beginning. So if you look right here, I'm going to turn on the creative tab here. And you see, that's where a lot of our colors coming in from. Now, I'm sure I could do that maybe with some other ways, but I found that using these creative looks really helps with, bringing some of the colors out and really bringing out some of the different contrasts and stuff that we want to have, especially when you're shooting flat. I'll get into more depth on another episode, the right camera settings for color correction, because that's really important. But right now, we're just going to focus on the color correction. So if we go here, I might even add a little bit of vibrance to this. The vibrance tends to not mess with the picture as much as saturation, doesn't distort it as much. And the saturation, I might add just a hair. of that. The intensity of this SL Blue Day 4 Night is also really important. So when it starts out, it's at 100, and you can add more of it, which you see that would be really, really contrasty, and it probably, you might be able to make this look good in some place, but for me, I wasn't going for that much of a change. See, there's the original. I wanted to add quite a bit of color without even having to add lights, so that was really cool. But if I just add just a little bit more there, I about have the end product of what I showed you. So you can take all these suggestions, you can tweak them however you want, because color correction isn't an exact science. This is more of a basic color correction tutorial. If you want to get more in depth, we can focus more on like the color wheels, the luma curves, things like that. But today I just wanted to show you how much you could do with some basic intermediate style of color correction. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit subscribe. I really appreciate you sharing this with your friends and liking it. I look forward to making many videos for you in the future. So until then, learn, entertain, connect, and grow. And don't forget to do real life.